Hey there, Travis.
Hey, good morning, Haley. Or afternoon, Haley. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Blessed and grateful and super excited to be here.
Amazing. Thanks so much for joining. We're still waiting for a few more folks to join.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no worries. No worries. I know we're just getting started here. So
yeah,
we're a few minutes early. So here's what I'd
perfect.
love. I'd love to know where everybody is because I know we got people all over Europe. So can you guys punch in a chat where you are? And here's one other thing I want you to do. Type in one thing you are grateful for. What are you grateful for right now? Type it into the chat. Where are you from? Israel. Awesome. Portugal. Portugal, Luxembourg. Wow. Grateful for the sun. Amen, Sophia. Citadel, Portugal. Awesome. I love all the Portuguese on here today. Spain, Austria, Scotland, Budapest. Wow. USA. Eli, what are you doing in the USA? This is supposed to be Europe. What'd you do? Like escape Malta? Beautiful. Oh, Chris Lee, I am so bummed. I'm supposed to be in Malta right now, and I'm not. I'm so bummed. Greece, beautiful. Glad quarantine is over. Amen to that. Malta, Athens, Poland, Estonia. There's a place I haven't been. I love it, Egert or Egert. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So I'll just cover all my bases. Estonia, another one, Ruslan, Israel. Oh, this is so fantastic. Love it. Love it. Love seeing everybody here. Crete. Woohoo. That's a cool one.
So I
So,
don't know if
Haley,
you
how are
know
you
this.
doing? What are you
Yeah,
grateful for?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I don't know if you know this, but we actually have some live translation available for our participants
What?
today.
I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, this is something that we realized that Zoom could do and accommodate for. So we actually have live translation in French and in Hebrew. So
No
if any
kidding.
of you guys out there who are watching, if you're looking for French, you can enable the French translation by clicking on the French flag. But here's a little curveball for you. If you're looking for the Hebrew translation, you better go ahead and click on the Japanese flag because Zoom only has, I think, around 8 different flags programmed in to their backend. So you're going to need to click on the Japanese flag if you want Hebrew. That was our quick and dirty workaround that we found out thanks to our marketing team, especially Lisa. I do notice that it is now 2 p.m. Vienna time, so I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. But before I do that, a few housekeeping things in case you don't know who I am. I am Haley Still. I am a part of the business development team, Remix Europe. I have the lovely pleasure and opportunity to host the Level Up webinar series. Hello to all of you who are just joining in for the first time. I already covered translation, so that's good to go. Are recording this session, so in case your internet goes down, in case you need to go take care of a child who started writing on the walls because you're homeschooling or whatnot, you can receive a recording automatically at the end of the session. In terms of interaction, you can write in the chat. I see most of you have already figured that out. If you are wanting to ask a question, you can either write it in the chat or there is a Q&A feature. And we're going to be doing a brief Q&A session at the end of Travis's presentation. So that's pretty much it from me. For those of you who haven't heard of his many achievements, I thought I would share a few of them with you to kick off today's session. So, Travis Robertson, he is passionate about his business. He has helped start and scale 2 multi-million-dollar companies and recently launched another multi-million company called the Don't Settle Group. The Don't Settle Group has coached and trained tens of thousands of CEOs, business owners, leaders, and sales professionals across the world. Today, we are very lucky to have him join our Level Up webinar series. Welcome, welcome, Travis. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen so we can all focus on you and your incredible message that you are here to share with us.
Awesome. Well, Haley, thank you so much. Real quick, Haley, I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
Is it that for this, just so I understand for the translator's sake, because I do talk fast,
Yeah, I do.
Is it computer translation or is it real people translating?
It's real people that are translating, but I'm sure we will make their jobs a lot easier if we breathe and pause, which is something I also need to work on. I'm from New York, and it's always like you got to talk as fast as you can to get your point across as fast as you can. But I am sure that the live translators would appreciate it if we all talk.
I've worked with a lot of live translators. I just wanted to make sure what we were up against. And so to the translators, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me because this is, I'm going to make we're going to test your translation abilities today. So we're going to level you up as well as everybody else today. So super excited to help you guys level up your career. And so Haley, thank you so much for that incredible introduction.
I'm here in case you need anything from me, Travis.
Perfect.
I'm just silently listening along.
Excellent. And I just want to thank everybody at Remax Europe, and specifically a shout out to Remax Malta. And guys, I so wish I could be with you today. It breaks my heart that I don't get to see you guys in person, that I don't get to be with you on this round, but hopefully we can plan something in person where I get to meet you guys, shake your hands, give you hugs, fist bumps, high fives, whatever it is, because that's how I roll. So with that, let's get started because I'm excited to be with you guys today. And I'm excited to share the message that I've got for you. And this is really something that it isn't what I was planning on sharing when I was with you, because things have changed and the world has evolved. Situations have obviously evolved. And so I felt like the message needed to evolve. And it's something that I actually created this for originally Remax Portugal last week. So I think it was last week that I was with Remax Portugal. And I just decided that, you know what, I feel like God's given me a different message, a different thing that I needed to share with you guys today. And so I want to share that with you today. So if you'll entertain me, we're going to cover a lot of ground. We're going to move very, very fast. So make sure you have something to take notes with, because you are absolutely going to want to take notes. You're going to want to be able to write things down. But here's the first thing I want to kind of just open with is this, is that the world is shifting. The world is evolving. Right? I think we can all agree that things are shifting, things are evolving, and things are moving at a much, much faster pace, even though we've been shut down in a large way for the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it is based on where you are. There's been some level of shutdown. And yet, isn't it interesting how fast things are evolving and things are changing? If you've been noticing this, guys, punch into the chat like, yes, I've been noticing the shift. Yes. If you've been noticing that how fast it's moving and how much things are changing, just punch into chat. Yes, I've been noticing that. Yep. I see that from you, Lena. And yeah, Caroline. Yes. Yes. I mean, we're seeing all sorts of changes, but you want to know something really interesting is this isn't the last time things are going to change. The thing about a shifting market is that we're always in a shifting market. There is nothing new about a new market. So how many of you were in the business 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago? And yet what do we know about the business today? It's different than the business of 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. There's nothing new about new markets. There's always a new market. The market in 6 months is going to be a new market. The market in 12 months is going to be a new market. The world is always evolving. The markets are always shifting, always changing. It is always a new market every time you wake up. There is nothing new about new markets. And so what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to adapt our businesses to be able to thrive in any market, no matter what's going on. And so what I want to share with you today is I want to share with you 3 principles that we are teaching our clients, that our clients have been using to actually thrive right now in today's market, and that they're using and they're leveraging to scale their businesses to where they want to be 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 18 months from now, no matter what's going on, they are adjusting and adapting their business. And what's so cool about it is how many of our clients are actually busier right now than they were at the start of the year. Their businesses have been growing. The number of clients that they're working with has been growing. They're serving more people, even though they're locked down too, even though they have shelter in place orders, even though they're dealing with all the stuff going on with the coronavirus and COVID, everything is shifting for them too. And so what is it that they're doing? Why is it that they're still able to thrive even in spite of everything going on? Well, there's 3 principles that I'm going to share with you today. And the first is this. I'm going to show you what a flywheel, and I'll explain what a flywheel is in case it's not translating very effectively, what a flywheel teaches us about success in any market. I'm going to show you what a flywheel teaches us about success in any market. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to show you what a runner can teach us about beliefs and why that matters now more than ever. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is what an NFL, National Football League, which is an American sport. And notice most of you know our football is not the same as you.
שמתם לב?
Uh-oh.
Okay, מה קורה כאן?
Hey there, sorry
Vadia?
about that. We're having some trouble with
You're
our
unmuted. I can't
translation. So our Hebrew translator just needed to hop off, and it looks like she automatically shares the video screen when someone hop backs on again. So I hope that it works now for all of those Israeli listeners out there, because we were having a little bit of back-end trouble with the Hebrew translation. But Travis, please continue. Sorry for the interruption.
No worries. That's okay. So we're going to talk about what a National Football League coach can teach us about strategy and why this is going to create a competitive advantage for all of you, specifically for RE/MAX Europe and RE/MAX all across the globe, why this is a huge principle to understand. So we're going to talk about those 3 things: what a flywheel can teach us about success in any market, what a runner can teach us about the importance of beliefs and why it matters today more than any other time. And the third thing is what an NFL coach, a National Football League coach, can teach us about strategy and how that can give you a competitive advantage in today's market right now, and especially with what's coming. All right, so buckle up. We're going to have a great time. So grab whatever you're taking notes with and let's rock and roll. So what is a flywheel? First, let me explain what a flywheel is. A flywheel is like a giant gear. Imagine this giant gear like on just this pole or this post, that this wheel that is going. A flywheel is like a giant gear. And imagine this giant gear that is, 3 feet thick, a big iron gear that's, 25, 30 feet tall, 2-3 feet thick, or 1 meter thick. And I want you to imagine having to get this thing in momentum, this giant flywheel. You've got to start building momentum. Now, a flywheel in the beginning, it takes a tremendous amount of force to get a flywheel spinning. So you've got this, 10-meter high flywheel, giant metal iron flywheel that's 1 meter thick, and you've got to get it spinning. And in the beginning, you're going to take a tremendous amount of force to just get this thing to move. And it goes 1 rotation, and it takes a lot of energy, a lot of force. And then it starts building up momentum. And the more you keep this thing moving, you start realizing that with less and less force, you're able to keep this thing spinning faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster until all of a sudden it's flying. This thing is moving extremely fast. And the amount of force you have to take or put into this thing to keep it moving is very, very little. So the force and the effort is inverse to the speed. So the slower it is, or if it's stopped, if the momentum is stopped, the amount of force to get it moving is great. But the more it gets going, the more the momentum keeps it moving, and the less force and the less effort it's going to take you to keep that flywheel spinning. If that makes sense, punch into the chat. Yes, that makes sense. I understand what you're saying. So if that makes sense, punch into the chat. Yes, because I just need to make sure that y'all are tracking with me and what we're talking about here. Yes, awesome. Okay, so we know that that's what a flywheel is, but why is that so important to success? Well, very simply this: your business, your success, your momentum, what you're aiming for, your business is like a flywheel. It's like a flywheel. And the most important thing you can be doing right now, point number one, is you need to stay in momentum towards your goal. You need to stay in momentum towards your goal. Now, why is this so important? Because of this reason. You are always in momentum. You are always in momentum. You are either in momentum towards your goal or you're in momentum away from your goal. You're either momentum towards your goal or you're in momentum away from your goal. And the problem is the challenge with momentum is this, is that if you've got momentum in a certain direction, the more you start speeding up in that direction, either towards your goal or away from your goal, the harder it becomes to shift the direction of the momentum. So think of it like this. If I've got this flywheel that is moving at a rapid rate and it's going, the momentum is really built up. What has to happen if I want to change the direction that it's spinning? Let's say it's spinning this way, and now I want to change direction and I want it to spin this way. Well, what I have to do is I have to slow the momentum, and that takes a tremendous amount of force and time to slow down the momentum that it's spinning. Then it stops, and then I have to build the momentum back up in the other direction. That takes time, it takes effort, and it takes energy. It's like a train, a passenger train. Imagine a passenger train flying down the tracks in a direction, and you've got to stop this train and go, oh my gosh, the train's moving in the wrong direction. It's moving away from my goal, and now I need to get moving towards my goal. I've got to stop the momentum, get it all the way stopped, turn it around, and now I've got to build up the speed, build up the momentum, build up the energy. And the problem is, if you don't stay in momentum towards your goal right now, in this time, during the season, you're moving away from your goal right now. And you've started building up momentum in the wrong direction. That is my biggest fear for every single agent. Every single one of you is that if you are not actively in momentum towards your goal, guess what you're in momentum towards? Away from your goal. Away from your goal. And so I want you to right now just think about, which direction have you been moving? Have you been slowing down? Have you been backing off your goals? Have you been easing up, or are you in absolute momentum towards your goal? Which one is it for you? Because you've got to be honest with yourself. And by the way, if you've slowed things down, if you've eased things back, you know what? It's normal to do that. But I'm going to challenge you and encourage you that you want to stay in momentum towards your goal. In fact, here's something I want you to keep in mind, is that right now there are a ton of coaches and trainers and people with good hearts who are advising you to change your goal. They're advising you to actually drop your goal. And they're saying, you know, with everything going on, with everything that's changed, it's okay if you drop your original goal. So maybe you started out 2020 and you said, in 2020, I want to help 25 people buy or sell a house this year. I want to do 25 transactions in 2020. And now all of this stuff with COVID-19 has hit. All of these things have become a challenge. And now coaches and trainers who have big hearts, who are trying to help, are saying, you know what, just drop your goal. It's okay. Just, you know what, maybe if you only do 18, if you only do 15, if you only do 10, it's okay, because you've lost, 2, 3, 4 months this year. So don't hold yourself to the same standard. But here's the problem with that. The minute you drop your goal, I want you to hear the energy around dropping your goal. Let's say that your original goal was 25 deals in 2020. Now, all of a sudden, you're coming to your manager, your broker, and you're saying, oh man, you know what? I had this goal of 25 deals in 2020, but you know what? With everything going on, I've just decided that I just don't know that that's possible. And you know what? I think I'm gonna back off to 18. I think this year I'm just gonna target for 18. And if I do 18, I'll be happy. And it's not my original goal of 25, but nobody knew COVID-19 was gonna hit. And so, even if I hit 15, I mean, I only did 12 last year. I only did 15 last year. And I'll be okay if I do 15 this year in spite of everything going on. So 15, 18, I'll be okay. Notice the energy of that. Is it an energy that is exciting me, that is moving me up, that is spiraling up or spiraling me towards my goal or putting me in more momentum towards my goal? Or is it a momentum down? What is it? Punch it in a chat. Is it momentum up towards my goal, or is it momentum down away from my goal? Down. Chris, hey buddy, good to see you. Chris Rete. So down. Paula, down. It's moving you down. Now let me ask you a question. Is that really the energy you want carrying you through this challenge and carrying you into the market that's going? Do you want to be in momentum away from your goal when all of this lifts? You are going to be in momentum. You are going to be in momentum when all of this lifts, whatever that looks like. So is the momentum you want a momentum of decrease, a momentum of pulling back? Or I want you to hear this. What if you said, you know what? Here's the deal. I started out 2020 and I knew that I wanted to help 25 people this year buy or sell a home. And when I set the goal at the beginning of 2020, did I know that COVID-19 was going to hit? Hell no, I didn't know it was going to hit. I had no idea this was going to hit. But you know what? If it wasn't this, it was going to be something else. There's always a challenge. There's always something that's going to try and keep me from getting to my goal. But you know what? Here's what I know. In 2020, there's still going to be 25 people in Malta who need to buy or sell a home. There's going to be hundreds, thousands of people in my area that still need to buy or sell a home. And I know that my mission, my goal has not changed to serve 25 of those people into buying or selling a home. Now, is it going to be harder than it was? Sure. But you know what? There's always a challenge. But you know what I also know? There's always a way for the committed. There is always a way for the committed. And I am committed to helping 25 people. That has not changed. I just have to work harder, but I'm going to find those 25 people that I am still here to serve. Are there going to be agents who aren't doing their job, who aren't showing up, who are phoning it in, who are easing up, who are taking it easy? Heck yes, which means there's going to be more opportunity for me because I'm not going to ease up on my goals. I am still shooting for 25 people in 2020 because that's what I committed to. And there is always a way for the committed. Now, let me ask you a question. Is that energy towards my goal or energy away from my goal? Is it energy up or is it energy down? Which energy would you rather have right now in today's market with what you're dealing with? Would you rather have the second energy or the first energy? Which one? Second energy or first energy? Up, up, up. See, the worst thing you can do is decrease your goal right now. It is the absolute worst thing you could do. Why? Because what you do is you tell your subconscious, ease up. You know what? Don't try as hard. Slow down because everything else is slowing down. You know what? Just even if you only get 15, that's going to be okay. I mean, look, nobody knew this was coming. And can you really blame yourself? Can you really fault yourself? See, you are always in momentum and you get to pick what is the momentum I'm going to be in during this and after this. See, personally, my goals haven't changed. Here's why. Because I believe that God gave me my goals at the beginning of the year. He said, here's what I want you to do this year. Here's how many people we want you to serve. Here's how many people I want you to serve. Here's how many people I want you to help this year. Now, when he gave me that goal, did I know that COVID-19 was coming? Nope. Did he know that COVID-19 was coming? Yes. So he's not sitting up there going, holy cow, I had no idea this was coming. I had no idea, like, shoot, gave you the wrong goal, Travis. Now what we need to do is we need to change the goal because I had no idea this was coming. I believe that he knew it was coming, and that's why he gave me the goal. He knew that he gave you that goal of 25 people. Now, maybe you don't believe in God and you believe in a universe or whatever it is, but whatever it is for you, I believe that the universe or God, whatever it is, knew that you needed to help 25 people this year, even more than in previous years because of everything going on. That now more than ever, it is important for great agents to rise up and to serve their community, to serve the people that they are designed and destined to serve this year, now more than ever. You are needed now more than ever. And it is time for you to rise up, to get into the momentum. And if you've been moving the wrong direction, that's okay. I'm not making you wrong, but you can't stay there. It is time to shift the momentum and move towards your goals. So if you are committed right now, I want you to type into the chat, I am committed to keeping my goals. I am committed to serving X number of people. How many people are you committed to serving this year? Type it into the chat. How many people are you going to help buy or sell a home this year? I am committed to doing 25. I'm committed to helping 15. I'm committed to helping 35. Whatever your goal is, punch it into the chat. Stay committed and own it right now. I am committed. Type it into the chat. Carolyn, 15. Love it. Recruiting, awesome. 25, love that. Committed, love seeing this. Michael, great job. What are you guys committed to? Nicola, 12, 50, love it. Mo, I'm not going to even try and pronounce your name. Committed. Chara, let's do more than one. 20, 17, 25, love it. Will I dance for you? Yes, I'll probably dance for you. Because that's how I roll. 15, all of this. So momentum matters more than anything. Momentum matters more than anything. Guys, I want you to think about something. How many of you love sports like boxing or mixed martial arts or competitive like battle sports? How many of you guys love watching those things? I love mixed martial arts. I actually love boxing too. I love seeing two guys or two women get into the ring and they just put it all out on the line and they just beat the crap out of each other. And it's like, but they love it and they love getting hit and they love getting smacked in the face, right? I love mixed martial arts. 90, I love that, Taha. So I love mixed martial arts. I love boxing. I love that sort of thing. Now, how many of you, rugby? Oh yeah, Bernardo, love that. So here's what I want to ask you. When you watch these fighters come out of the ring or come out of the locker room, when they're coming from the locker room to the ring, when they're walking up to that ring, how are they acting? How are they acting? Are they walking out going, oh gosh, this is going to suck. Oh, this is going to hurt. She's going to hit me. He's going to hit me. And I don't want to get hit. Oh man, this is going to blow. Like, do I really have to do this? I don't want to get hit. Like, do I really have to go out there? No. They don't get into the ring and get upset that they get punched in the face. They're not sitting here going, oh my gosh, I can't believe that guy punched me in the face. I didn't expect him to punch me in the face. How dare he punch me? No, when they're walking out to the ring, what are they doing? They've got their soundtrack going. They've got their theme song going and they're bouncing, right? They're moving. They get the energy going. They're shadow boxing. They're getting everything rolling. When they're in momentum when they're walking out to the ring. So let me ask you a question. Are you waking up every day in momentum towards your goal? Or are you waking up every day in momentum away from your goal? Number one is you've got to stay in momentum. Let's talk about principle number two. Principle number two is this. It's about what a runner can teach us about beliefs. So in the 1950s, science, and even before the 1950s and into the 1950s, all of the smartest, sharpest minds in science said that the human body is incapable of running, I don't know how, like 1.6 kilometers, I think, or a mile. What does 1 mile translate to in kilos or kilometers? I have no idea. It's like 1.6 mile or kilometers, I think 1.6. Yeah. So all of the best scientists in the world said that the human body is incapable of running 1.6 kilometers in less than 4 minutes. It's just not possible. The human body is not designed, not capable of running that distance in less than 4 minutes. But then in around 1954, a man by the name of Roger Bannister broke the 1 mile mark in less than 4 minutes. Less than 4 minutes. So 1.6 kilometers in less than 4 minutes. He was the first man in history, recorded history, to do that. Now, here's what's interesting about that. Prior to Roger Bannister doing that, all of the smartest minds, all of the scientists, everybody said it is impossible. Nobody believed it was possible except one man said, I don't believe the scientists. I believe I can run that distance in less than 4 minutes. And he did it. I think it was 1954. That year that he did it, I think it was 12 or 14 people all of a sudden ran the mile in less than 4 minutes. And since that time, over 1,700 male athletes have run that distance in under 4 minutes. So what changed? What changed? Was it that all of a sudden we got an upgrade in our human body? No. What changed from 1953 to 1954 was one man's belief that it was possible. Because as soon as he did it, now all of a sudden everybody realized, okay, it's possible. And they started breaking the record, breaking the 4 minute mile, doing it one after another after another. Nowadays, if you can't run a 4 minute mile in middle distance running, you can't even compete with the world's best athletes. Like, don't even bother going for the Olympics if you can't run the mile in less than in 4 minutes. It's just not, don't even bother. That's become the standard. But before that, nothing yet. Thank you, Suzette. May 6th, 1954. May 6th, 1954. What changed from May 5th to May 6th is one man's belief. See, right now, more than ever, your beliefs set the boundaries of your life and they set the boundaries of your success. You cannot live beyond your beliefs. If you don't believe it's possible to win right now in today's market, guess what? You won't win in today's market. If you don't believe it's possible to win in what's coming, you can't win in what's coming. See, momentum is an energy. And the way you set the momentum, the way you control the direction the momentum is headed is based on your beliefs. So if you want to shift the energy, if you want to shift the momentum, or you want to get even more momentum in the direction of your goal, guess what you have to shift? What you believe to be possible and what you believe to be true. What do you believe to be true about this time? See, what's interesting about this is that what we focus on, most of you have heard this, that what we focus on, we feel. What we focus on, we feel. And the reason we get into momentum either towards our goals or away from our goals is based on what we're focused on. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the problems? Are you focusing on the challenges? Are you focusing on the difficulties? Like, man, this is so frustrating. I'm so frustrated with the government. I'm so frustrated with this. Whatever you're going to focus on, you're going to feel. I mean, if I ask you guys right now to focus on all the problems in the world, you're going to feel all the problems in the world. And what you're going to feel, you're going to act out in life. See, studies have shown that 97% of the time, we will act the way that we're feeling. Only about 3% of the time are we able to stop, no matter what we're feeling. 3% of the time we're able to go, okay, I'm really angry right now, but I'm not going to respond out of anger. 3% of the time. The other 97% of the time, if we're angry, we're feeling angry about something. And a great example of this is if I'm angry about something that's going on and my daughter spills something, how do I why did you do that? Why did you spill that? If I'm angry, I'm going to respond or react out of anger because whatever I'm focused on is creating the anger. And that anger is going to determine 97% of the time how I respond. And so if I want to shift my beliefs, if I want to understand what I'm believing, all I have to do is I have to look at what am I feeling? Because if I'm feeling anxiety or fear or depression or anger or overwhelm, whatever it is, that's because something I'm choosing to focus on is making me feel that way. And this is a really interesting thing I want you to think about, guys. And this is, I'm going to talk about depression for a second. And I know a lot of people battle depression, and I'm not talking about clinical chemical depression, but depression medication is one of the most overprescribed medications in the world. And what depression comes from for most people, not all people, for most people, depression is focusing on past events, and bringing the emotion of past events that I can't change into today and feeling that emotion today, right now. So I'm borrowing the emotion of the past, bringing it into right now and feeling it right now as if it's happening to me. And that makes me depressed. If I'm doing that, if I'm borrowing the emotion of yesterday into today, that generally causes depression. Now, what's interesting is, guys, what do you think the number one feeling in the world is right now? It's not depression. What do you think the number one feeling in the world is right now? Caroline, Vera, Chris, Chara, all of you for the win. Fear, anxiety, panic, dread. Why? Well, what fear is, what anxiety is. See, I'm a big believer in visualization. What fear is, uncertainty, great word, anxiety, yep, absolutely. What fear, worry, anxiety is, if depression is borrowing the emotion from the past right now, I'm going back to the past, I'm feeling it today as if it's still happening to me, even though it happened to me 2 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it was. Anxiety, fear, panic, all uncertainty, you know what that is? That is going to the future. It's imagining the worst possible outcome, feeling it right now as if it's already happening to me, and I'm borrowing the emotion of an event that has not yet happened and isn't even guaranteed to happen. I'm borrowing the emotion of some dreaded outcome, some horrible future. I'm saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to feel that as if it's already happening to me right now. So I'm a big believer in visualization. And a lot of people go, oh, visualization, really? Look, anxiety, fear, and panic is just really bad visualization. You're visualizing the worst possible outcome. If you're afraid, if you're panicking, if you've got anxiety, it's because you've gone to some future outcome that has not yet happened, that is not guaranteed to happen. And you've borrowed that emotion to right now. And you said, I'm going to visualize the worst outcome. I'm going to feel it as if it's happening to me right now. And I'm going to feel the anxiety, the fear, the dread, the panic, all of that. I'm going to choose to feel that right now. Anxiety is really crappy visualization. Really crappy visualization. See, if you're going to visualize, if you want to change your beliefs, if you want to change your momentum, if you want to change the energy, one of the things you need to realize is that when you do that, you're telling your subconscious, this is the future I want to create. Create one of fear, panic, anxiety, dread. Borrow that emotion today, and then I'm supposed to act towards my goal. When I'm feeling afraid, when I'm feeling panicked, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm supposed to move myself towards my goal versus away from my goal. Not going to happen. See, what you need to do is, if you want to shift the momentum that you're headed, is you need to start visualizing what you want, not what you don't want. Visualization is imagining the outcome that I do want and borrowing that emotion today so that I can start acting towards the outcome that I want. So visualization is going, okay, what is it that I want? I want to serve 25 people. I want to serve 50 people this year. What's that going to feel like when I get to the end of 2020, in spite of everything that happened, and I help 50 people, 25 people, 15 people buy or sell a house in spite of everything going on? What is that going to feel like? Man, that's going to feel amazing. I'm going to feel so much of a sense of accomplishment. And now I start feeling that. I start believing that it's possible. I start believing that it's possible, that it's truly my ability to get there is absolutely possible. I'm going to feel that right now. And what I'm doing is I'm telling my subconscious, this is the outcome that I want, not this. I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to be panicked. I want this. Now I'm feeling that, and my subconscious is going to go to work helping me create that reality. If that makes sense, guys, punch into the chat, yes, because I'm going to give you some things you can do, some exercises, some things that you can do right now to start shifting this for you. If this is making sense, though, yes. Orlando, love it. Michael, yes, absolutely. Some of you guys, Thordis, yes. Today, yes, totally. Awesome. Yes. Okay. So here's what I want to do. I want you to grab a sheet of paper, guys, because I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do right now to start shifting your beliefs, start shifting your energy, start shifting the momentum, or if you're already in momentum towards your goals, how you can accelerate that momentum, get even more momentum so that as this thing lifts, even during this, but as this thing lifts, as we go back to whatever the new normal is going to be, you've got so much momentum that you dominate the market. How many of you want to dominate the market? If you want to dominate the market, say I into the chat or yes into the chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my computer or my whiteboard pulled up here, and I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw some things. But here's what I want you to do. The very first thing I want to teach you about, and sorry, now you guys are over here. So the very first thing I want to teach you about, let me get the chat pulled up so that I can still see this, is I'm going to give you some exercises, some things that you can do to help yourself shift your beliefs and change your momentum. The first thing I want to teach you about is what we call belief stacks, or belief tables. And belief stacks are one of the most powerful things that you can use as a person to create belief around some reality that you want to create. So right now, this is why it's so important to not drop your goals, because right now there are so many people out there saying, drop your goal, reduce your goal, reduce your goal. But here's what I know. If I want to keep my goal, I need to have the supporting evidence that my goal is still possible. Because right now, if I say, well, you know what? I know I set my goal at 25 for 2020. All of the things, all of the world is telling you, just drop the goal, drop the goal. You know what? You didn't expect to lose 2 months. And so what happens is we have this belief of, I'm just going to abbreviate this. Let's say I have the goal of 25 in 2020. That's what I want. That's my goal, or the belief is I want to believe it's possible to do 25 in 2020. But the problem is, as soon as I say that, I start stacking all of the reasons why that's going to be harder or not possible. So I'm going to have a belief or a support that's like, but here's the reality, Travis, you lost 2 months of production. So I know you want to do 25. So my subconscious is already starting to do this, but you lost 2 months. And on top of that, nobody's buying or selling right now. Nobody wants to buy or sell. Fewer people. Sorry, I can't write, guys. Want to buy or sell. So I'm now starting, do you see the problem here? Is that I set a goal, but subconsciously I'm coming up with all the reasons why it's not possible. Why it's not possible. So I've created a belief stack, which is I have my belief, but I'm stacking all of the reasons why it can't happen. So even if I go, oh yeah, Travis, you inspired me, you motivated me, I'm going to keep my goal at 25 or 15 or 50 or 90 or whatever it is. I'm going to keep my goal. Subconsciously, you're also coming up with all the reasons why it's going to be hard, all the reasons why it's not going to be possible, all the reasons why it's probably not going to happen. You're stacking evidence against your goal. Now, before I go on and show you the alternative to this, if this is making sense, I need to know. Say yes into the chat. I want to make sure. If it's not, I need to know. So if it's making sense, punch yes into the chat. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. So this is making sense. Reading my mind. Awesome. So how many of you have done this before? I know I have. I'm like, oh, here's my goal. I'm going to do this. And then subconsciously, I'm like stacking all the reasons why I don't know if I can do this. I've never done this many before. How am I going to have my best year ever in one of the most challenging years I've ever had in business? I do all of this, right? We all do this. So what we have to do is we have to come up with something different. Instead, I need to create a belief stack that supports my goal. So again, here's my goal. I want to do 25 in 2020. So this is something you can all do. You can all do this. And I would encourage you, whatever your goal is, I want you to create your own belief stack of why this is still possible. And not only possible, why it becomes even more possible and probable right now. So here's what would go in mind if I were an agent. It'd be number one. My goal is to do 25 in 2020. Well, here's what I know. And I'm just going to make up data because I don't know what your individual market is, but you need to know the stats for your individual market. So let's say I'm in a market where I know that 1,000 homes are going to sell in 2020, even though all of this is happening. I'm going to go, okay, well, here's the deal. 1,000 homes are, and I'm not going to write the whole thing out, but I would write 1,000 homes are still going to sell in 2020. And you know what? Number two, I only need 25 of those. Can I get 25 out of 1,000? Holy cow, yes, I can. 1,000 people are still going to need the help of a realtor. 1,000 homes are going to sell. Can I be one of those? Can I find 25 of my ideal client out there who need my help rather than some other crappy agent who sucks, who isn't going to care about the client, who's not going to serve him at the highest level? Can I find 25? Yes or no? I think I can. Now, here's the really cool thing. When 1,000 homes sell, how many sides of the transaction are there? There's actually two sides for every home that sells. There's two parties. There's a buyer and a seller. So 1,000 homes are going to sell, but that actually means 2,000 people or parties need an agent. Wait a minute. First, it was 1,000 homes and I only need 25. Now I'm finding out that there's 2,000 parties that are going to need help, and I still only need 25 of those to hit my goal. What the heck? This is getting even easier. Are you guys seeing how this works? Yes or no? Yes, yes, yes. See, Henry Ford said it this way. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So if you believe 25 in 2020 is still possible, you can do it. If you believe you can't, you won't. If you believe you can, great. If you believe you can't, you can't. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. But the problem is I can say I want 25 all day long, but if I don't stack it with supporting evidence, I can say that that's what I want to believe, but I don't really believe it. What I believe is the opposite. And so I'm like, oh, I want to do 25. Oh, but nobody's buying or selling a house. If I'm back here on this one, but I lost 2 months and I got this and I got this. I don't really believe that it's possible. So I'm right. But if I'm back here on this one, now all of a sudden, guess what? I'm going to do 25 and I keep going. By the way, whenever I do a belief stack, I do a minimum of 25 to 50 reasons why that goal is a foregone conclusion, why it's going to happen no matter what. So I would even put in here, number 5, every other agent is taking time off. Sorry, it's got my video here right in the screen, so I can't type that off. And I'd keep going. Nobody cares about their clients more than I do. Nobody's going to serve at the level that I'm going to serve. Nobody's going to work harder for my clients in this time than right now. My clients need me now more than ever. Now more than ever is the time for great agents to step up, to rise up in this market, because now more than ever, the buyer, the seller needs expert representation, and nobody is going to serve them at a higher level than I am. I'm going to keep going until all of a sudden I look at 25 and 2020 and go, maybe I should increase my goal. When I start to feel like this goal, the original goal that I started with, is too low, that's when I know that I have an incredible belief stack. See, and Nurit, I love it. You're right. I'm saying to myself, there won't be 1,000 deals. That you're catching on. So how many will there be? Maybe there will be. You don't know. But here's what we know. If there's 900, there's still going to be 900. You still can hit your goals. If there's 900, there's going to be 1,800 people that need a realtor or an agent to represent them. Why can't you be the agent to get those deals? Why can't you be the one positioning yourself? I appreciate the honesty, by the way. And that's normal to say, oh, but I don't know if there's going to be 1,000. I'm just making numbers up, by the way. Maybe it's in your market, it's 500. Maybe it's 750. Maybe it's 2,000. Maybe it's 5,000. Whatever it is, why can't you be the person doing it? So what I would encourage all of you to do is create a belief stack for your goal in 2020 and come up with 25 to 50 reasons why it is guaranteed to happen. If you just believe it's possible, because Henry Ford, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. That's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2, one of the most important things you can do right now is, if you want to change the way you feel in an instant, there's something else I want to teach you right now, and it's called the gratitude journal. If you ever want to shift the way you feel, the way you operate day in and day out, you do a gratitude journal. Now, here's the problem. Most of you are like, oh, gratitude journal. No. I get that. I write down 5 things or 10 things I'm grateful for every day. And, I'm like, okay, grateful for my house, grateful for my car, even though I can't drive right now, grateful for my wife or husband. Most of the time, right now I'm kind of annoyed with him or her because, we're cramped together and I can't get away from him. And so I'm usually grateful for my husband, but I'll put him down, grateful for my kids. Well, actually, no, I'm not right now because I'm having to homeschool and that's really sucking. And I'm not enjoying that. So how many of you are understanding what I'm talking about gratitude journals? Most people, this is how they do a gratitude journal. This is how they do a gratitude journal. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down, I'm just going to give you about 30 seconds. I'm going to go silent for about 30 seconds, which is a miracle because that'll actually allow the translators to catch up. So I'm going to go silent for about 30 seconds, but in the next 30 seconds, I want you to grab a sheet of paper and a pen. Grab a sheet of paper and a pen. Don't type this. I want you to be able to write this on a sheet of paper or a pen. So grab a sheet of paper, grab a pencil, grab a pen. You need to be able to write this out. So here's what I want you to do. In the next 30 seconds, write down as many things that you're grateful for. Write down as many things that you're like, whatever you can think of. Write down everything you can think about. So car, house, wife, kids, health. Write all of those things down. Write as many things down and go. 30 seconds. Don't filter, just write. Don't go, just write everything down. Five more seconds. All right, stop. Yeah, Lena, grateful for silence. I'm assuming you mean grateful that the speaker stopped speaking for a second. All right. Just kidding. I know that's not what you mean. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab your pen. I want you to look at your list. And I want you to cross off every other one starting with number 2. So starting with number 2, I want you to cross out number 2. I want you to cross out number 4. I want you to, whatever you wrote down for number 6, I just want you to cross out number 6, cross out every other one on your list. Cross out every other one. Now, let me ask you a question. If you woke up tomorrow, look at that list. If you woke up tomorrow and every item that you just crossed out was taken from you tomorrow, how much different would your life be? How much worse would your life be? Punch it into the chat. Type it into the chat. How much different would your life be? How much more grateful would you have been for those things that are now no longer in your life? Caroline, horrible. Heidi, totally. Disaster. Broken. Oh, incredible word. Bad, right? Now, let me ask you a question. In this moment, right now, how much more grateful are you for those things? Write into the chat. How much more grateful are you right now for those things? See, most people do gratitude. They do gratitude. They wake up in the morning like, oh, I did my gratitude journal, check. Okay, I need to exercise, check. And they do gratitude. The problem is you don't do gratitude. Gratitude is not emotion. It is not an action. Gratitude is an emotion. It's a feeling. It's something you experience. It is not something you do. The problem with the way most people do gratitude journals is they're doing gratitude journals. They're not experiencing real gratitude. See, the thing about gratitude is you need to feel it. You need to experience it. You don't just do it. It's not emotion. It's an emotion. That's the difference. So all of you right now, you can do a gratitude journal, but you've got to do it differently. You've got to experience it when you do it. So you don't just write down the same 10 things every single day, because that is an action. That is not a feeling of gratitude. See, what I do when I do my gratitude journal, I write down every single day. My goal is to write down every single day 10 new things that I'm grateful for. So let me give you an example. If you were doing your gratitude journal, I'm just going to abbreviate. And if one day you wrote down, oh, I'm grateful for my house, and maybe you feel it, you're like, wow, I'm so grateful for my home. I'm so grateful for my apartment. I'm so grateful for my house right now. Like, oh man, I'm so grateful for it. But then you start writing the same thing every day, you stop feeling it. So what I do is I try and write down 10 new things every single day, because I ask myself this question: what if tomorrow I woke up and everything that wasn't in my gratitude journal was taken from me? What if everything in my gratitude journal that I didn't, what if I got to keep everything in my gratitude journal, but I lost everything that wasn't in my gratitude journal? What would I lose? So for example, my wife, Lisa, is in my gratitude journal, but she's not just in there as like, oh, grateful for my wife, Lisa. I write down different things. I could write 10 things today about Lisa that I'm grateful for. So and sometimes I'll do that. I'll do themes like, okay, today's theme is going to be Lisa, my wife. So I'm going to write down, I'm grateful for the fact that she's my best friend. You know, I got to marry my best friend. How awesome is that? I'm so grateful that she works harder at being a mom, at being a great mom, than anybody I have ever met. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for that, because she makes me a better dad because of that. And number 3, I'm going to write down, you know what? I'm so grateful for her smile, because I love her smile. And I'm so grateful for her, the way that she just encourages me. She's my greatest encourager and cheerleader. And so now what I'm doing is I'm taking Lisa, and I'm not just going, I'm so grateful for Lisa. I'm expanding on that. Lisa's in my gratitude journal. I don't know how many hundreds, if not thousands of times, but every single time it's for something different. Something she did, something she encouraged me with. So I can do themes. I can do my kids if I want to one day. I can do each of my daughters a different day. Or I can do a day where I'm just going to go, I'm going to be grateful for the small things, such as, Can you be grateful for your earbuds, like those iPhone earbuds? Man, I'm so grateful for these because they're so lightweight and they allow me to just, move from one area to another and go all, like, can you be grateful for a paper clip? Because let's say you woke up tomorrow and there were no paper clips in the world because you weren't grateful for them, and you needed to reset your router. You needed to reset those things, those electronics where you have those little tiny holes, and the only thing that will fit in it is a paper clip. How grateful are you when you need a paper clip that you've got a paper clip? Or when you need to put things together? I'm so grateful for my bed. I'm so grateful for my